Good morning. This is Christopher Maher. It's Friday, August 20, and it's our Friday morning legal discussion. This morning, I have my senior associate, Michael DiRienzo, who's going to speak to us this morning on immigration law. Good morning, Michael. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you doing, Chris?
Good.
Awesome. So, today with kind of everything going on in the world right now, especially if you may not be watching this timely, where this is right after the events that are occurring in Afghanistan in relation to a lot of possibilities of refugees and things like that. And so we've been getting a lot of questions about various immigration, because not only do you have that, you also have people coming up from the border. And so we wanted to kind of begin a new weekly series related to some immigration issues and kind of the different ways that we can possibly help a client that comes in. So the one that most people are familiar with is asylum, which we're going to go into a lot of detail about the specifics of asylum, but more or less, in order to be granted asylum, you have to prove more or less that you were what's called persecuted, or you would be persecuted based upon a protected ground. One of those usually consists of race, religion, nationality, your political opinion, and things such as like your membership in a group. Again, we're going to go into a lot of those specifics in the upcoming weeks. But just to kind of give people some basic introductions as to what asylum is. And usually what's dovetailed with asylum, what's called either withholding of removal or the Convention Against Torture. And they're more or less the same idea of asylum, in that you have to prove that you're persecuted or not, but there's some less hurdles, for lack of better terms, that you have to kind of jump over in order to be granted. And while it's not as robust a protection as asylum is, withholding and removal is exactly what it sounds like. Is you're still allowed to stay here and you don't have to go back to your home country. So there's things of that nature that allows us to more or less help somebody if there's some bars to asylum, which again, some people might have depending on the situation, but we'll go over that in more detail in later weeks. Again, just to dovetail also, Convention Against Torture is usually when there's any type of asylum package, you always hit all three, because to prove it, you always kind of have to show that there's persecution and torture and things like that. And it's just based upon how much you can prove and how much you can prove at the time and things of that nature. And one of the things that a lot of people are very interested in right now is the difference between a refugee and an asylum seeker. And what you're seeing in the news, if you're seeing like Afghan refugees and things like that, is a refugee is somebody who's requesting assistance, but they're still in their home country, and that's a chance to get here. So if you are a refugee, that's you can't return to your home country. And what you're looking to do is to basically come to a place that's considered safe. An asylum seeker is somebody that's here for one reason or another, whether it's they have a visa or things of that nature, or there's you're here to visit somebody. You might even be here illegally and you cross the border, but you're still here. And so that's what you're going to be doing. And all of these, for the most part, are protections that you can get in one or two ways. If it's called an affirmative, that is exactly what it sounds like. It's you're here and you want to do it the right way, and so you apply for affirmative asylum or affirmative relief, and that's usually through an asylum officer. And you don't have to go to court for those situations. Usually you're not going to get what's called a notice to appear, which is almost like a sentencing or a criminal complaint against you to basically say one thing or another, that you did something wrong. But it's you're here, you're trying to do it, and you're just basically going to the immigration court to basically say, hey, I'm here, I'm allowed to stay here, here's why. A lot of people get what's called a notice to appear, which is if you're here on a visa, you see this a lot, is people are here on a visa and the visa expires and the government basically says, okay, get out. because it's crime to stay here past your visa. And what we would do is we would go to court to say, it sounds weird, but you're basically going to be pleading guilty to that, and you're going to say, okay, we're going to go to court, but Your Honor, yes, the visa, we overstayed the visa welcome, but we're actually allowed to stay here, and here's why. And one other thing we would do in court is what's called adjustment of status. And what an adjustment of status is you would go to an immigration court to say, Your Honor, my client has been here for 10 years, continuously, at least for 10 years. They haven't returned to their home country. They've been, for lack of better terms, a model citizen. There's no issues here. If they're currently an illegal immigrant, then we would present to the judge to say, Your Honor, this is a good worker, and you see this a lot with the various, usually from the Latin American countries and things like that. They may have come here illegally. They may have not even known that they were here, and they were born here, and they just didn't know. And they thought they were born here, and so we would go and create an adjustment of status. And all of these things are to help you somehow get a green card and residency abilities thereafter. And then the final thing that I kind of want to touch upon today, again, we're going to go into crazy detail about all of these things. We're just doing touching upon some of it today, is what's called a T visa. And a T visa is really what T stands for, basically trafficking. And this is something we are seeing a lot of, especially in terms of migrant workers, because when you think trafficking, you think it's basically modern day slavery, and that's really what it is, but it's not as kind of cut and dry as a lot of people think it is. And a T visa is a relief that's availability is you don't need to be trafficked in here. We need to be trafficked at some point while you are here. And so what happens is if you're a worker who has maybe crossed the border and you're looking for work and you're getting 30 cents on, an hour for a job where you're working 50 hours, a week, nonstop, it is, and it happens. Especially you do see it happen, and that could be a form of trafficking. And you also have the more traditional women that are here for various prostitution, trafficking and things like that. And so those, that is one of ability that we've done a lot of, and we're seeing a lot of uptick in, is that because a lot of people don't realize and kind of understand that is a possibility. And, we've done those before. We can kind of help clients who believe that they might have been trafficked and go then. And again, we're going to go into a lot of these details again. We just wanted to today spend a little time just going over all the various types of relief today.
Thank you, Michael. If anyone has any questions, they can call you.
That they can. Our number is right on below. We're always available to talk. We do speak Spanish. If we speak, we can work some other language too, as we have some ability to speak French, which we have a lot of African clients that only speak French, Spanish, obviously, if they're Hispanic or come from a Latin American country. And so feel free to give us a call or reach out to us, or stop by the office, and we'll see if we can help.
Thank you, Michael. It's good to see you.
You too. Take care, Chris.
Thank you for that information.